Puppers, did you find a snake skin? Yeah, that's what it is. Snake skin. That's gross. Oh, puppers. Hey guys, is the connection better? Starting another live. I thought maybe if I restarted it, it would come back fresh because it seemed like most everybody was seeing a black screen. And I like Moo and he's black, but I don't want a black screen. Right, Mr. Moo? Oh, darling. Much. Okay, good. Awesome. I know it's probably not going to be as good as by the house, but still. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to stay looking at a black screen. Here's Mr. Moo. So you guys can see, like, so far he hasn't quitted. I'm kind of been watching him since I got up here. So this is Lovey. I know that people might kind of get sick of hearing it, but I do like to tell the horses stories. And I know if you're a regular here, it probably gets old hearing the same thing like on every one of my lives. But there's always new people, and I always want to share what we do. So this is Lovey. I would like to look back at how long I've had her, but it's been several months. And when I got her, she was very thin, and she had a halter that was grown into her head. She's an Arabian mare. She's a senior. I would say she's close to 20. Um, and she was in a kill pen. And with the help of the people on this channel, we were able to bring her home here, get her into the shape she's currently in. She looks 10 times better. Everybody who saw her coming out of the kill pen and followed her story knows that she looks incredible, and you can see she's wearing a fly mask, and I was able to put that on. I'm now able to touch her head. At first she was very head shy and very nervous about her head. I'm now able to touch her head and do quite a few things with her. She's a really sweet mare. Definitely has a lot of attitude. I call her my sassy redhead, but sweet horse. This is Mr. Normandy. This is my first horse. This is an Arabian. He's 17 years old. Hi, buddy. And he's an Arabian gelding. And him and Lovey are best friends. Then we have Moo up top. And Moo came from a kill pen as well. The only horse I have here who I did not get from a kill pen was my first horse here. Otherwise, all of them are from the kill pen. I discovered what kill pens were after I bought my first horse. And then we started doing rescue. This is Moo. And Moo is an ex-Amish horse. He's over 20 years old. Thinking more like 22 to 25 years old based on his teeth. He is currently struggling with Lyme's disease, so he is on antibiotics and getting soaked feed and um, being given the cares that he needs for that. He was just diagnosed recently and tested and everything, so we're working on that. We're located in Minnesota. Um, if you're new, welcome. If you are a moderator, thank you for being here and donating your time. I appreciate you guys. Um, if you'd like to, and then we have two minis that are close to home. Those have to be on a dry lot. We're located in Minnesota, and these are our babies. Hi, Miss Love. So they love it when he cuts the pasture because then um, they like horses like the fresh, shorter grasses. So when he first cuts the pasture, the horses love it. And like, I don't know if I should periodically say this, but I guess I will. I'm unlike, because I do occasionally watch other channels. Um, Unlike other channels, this channel is really not about me. It's about my horses. Um, Norman, Lovey, Mr. Moose up top, and then Rosie and Little John. Occasionally, like, I will answer questions, but I'm not here to get attention for myself. I'm here to share my love of horses. Um, and this channel has been a wonderful way to do that. I don't acknowledge stupid questions. I have amazing moderators on this channel, so if you're an idiot, they will boot you. They're fantastic. Um, I do enjoy like talking back and forth to people and answering questions occasionally, but if you're an idiot, go somewhere else. I don't know how else to say it. How do you say that nice? Um, yeah, they do. They really do. The horses enjoy being out. Now, I don't put my horses out full time on the pasture because it can like wreak havoc on their stomachs. And this one here has arthritis. Normie has arthritis, pretty severe, in this foot. So I'm careful about how much he is on grass. Lovey also has arthritis. So green grass can really feed any kinds of issues with horses' feet. And because they both have issues, I try to rotate between grass and hay um, for my horses' health. My horses all tend to do best on a rotation. So they're out here tonight. I put them out here maybe 20 minutes ago, and they'll be out here for another couple of hours. They get 2 to 3 hours of pasture time at night and in the morning. So in total, they get about 6 to 8 hours. Um, no, I'd say, yeah, probably six, 3, 6, yeah, probably 6-ish hours on pasture, and they seem to do really good with that. I mean, do we have enough pasture where they could be out technically all day? Yes, but I have tried that and it's not the best thing for my horses. So I don't, I don't do that. They end up being very sore, especially this guy. Very, very sore. Hi, Maker Moo. Let's do a little profile of you because you're so cute. Hi, Moo. Yes, exactly, Mary. So this is Mr. Moo. Yeah. Um, yes, if you're new here and you enjoy like rescue and horses and learning more about horses or learning more about rescue, I'm still learning, and so I love learning with other people, and I love getting input from other people. I listen and I sort through things because I've been given a lot of advice. Of course, when you open yourself up on the internet, people are going to give you a lot of advice, and you can take everything with a grain of salt. I've learned so much having this channel from people that are smarter and have more experience than me, and I appreciate them so very much. But I've also had to deal with trolls, very negative people, um, discouraging sometimes, people that like try to discourage me or pick apart what I do, and you take the good with the bad when you open yourself up on so, something like this. So, hey, love, Puppers is hanging out in apple trees. I don't have favorites, but if I do, it would be Mr. Mo. You guys, I think everyone has heard me say some form of that about every single one of my horses. Like, I'm like, I don't have favorites, but if I did, or I'm like, I don't normally like mares, but Miss Lovey, he is my heart horse. So everybody has one horse that is their heart horse, and that would be Normandy. He was but there's so many reasons he is. He was my first horse. He taught me, he taught me so much. And he has been the first horse to every single one of my kids and my husband, the first horse my husband rode. And I think that is so significant, but also he's the reason I fell in love with Arabians because he's an Arabian and my first horse and just absolutely incredible. Oh, buddy, did you get bit here? Hang on. You must have gotten bit there, bud. It's so frustrating because no matter how much you try to keep them sprayed and stuff, yeah, oh, whelp. Yeah, so Normie is my heart horse. But every horse is special and unique and teaches you something different, and you learn so much from these guys. Every day, learn something different from them. Horse life matters. I think so. I think so. Yes. So if you're new here, I don't make a ton of money on this channel. I'm not huge, and honestly, I try not to take on more than I can handle horse wise. There are hundreds, beyond hundreds of horses that come through the kill pen that I watch, and I've only rescued a handful. 7 isn't that many, but 7. And that's what I tell myself. I'm like, 7 isn't that many. Now, 7's more than 0. It's more than 0. And um, yeah, it is really pretty here. The sky too today is absolutely lovely. It's a little warm. It's a little warm out here today, but it's not terrible, but it's kind of hot to me. I'm a little warm. But um, the rescue part of it is expensive. And thanks to this channel and different people that I've connected with, I've received a lot of help with my rescues, whether that be people donating through an Amazon wish list or helping me bail them out with the GoFundMe's. I mean, people have been overly kind and supportive to us, and that's why we've been able to do what we do. Now, currently, we're paying vet bills for our different horses, and we're also figuring out our hay situation because winter's coming up here in Minnesota, and in winter, everybody only gets hay, and we buy round bales, so they eat they eat quite a bit in round bales when that's all they have over the winter. So we'll buy those shortly here, and then so that's a pretty big expense that we have coming up. But eventually, when we're ready to get another horse, we'll bail from the kill pen again. Our pasture is just technically we could fit. What would you say, Michael? I can see him walking towards me. I think we could fit another 4 horses in here easily. 4 or 5 more horses. 6, 8, 10. I don't know if I think he's watching the live. I don't know. He's out in the field here. Or he might be testing the Wi-Fi. But I try to my kids help, but I'm primarily take care of them. So I also don't want to take on more than I can handle, like financially and time-wise. And so, and also we just lost one earlier this week, and processing that, even while I have more to do, you have to give yourself time to like fully process it and sort through it, I guess. So we just lost him. I'm not ready at this time at all. I'm not ready. And we have the setup. We have the setup. We have everything here where I could potentially, like the kill pen has horses in it right now. We have horses added every day, and there's plenty of different horses that I could potentially bail. I just don't have it in me right now. And not with with Moo not being 100% either. With Moo not being 100%, and with making sure that we have provisions for the winter and having everything set up, there's just some things that are priority right now to make sure the horses that we have already rescued have what they need for the winter and that. So it's just not, rescuing again isn't at the forefront of my mind. I can just tell you that when I do decide to add another one, which I'm sure I will, it will be from the kill pen again. Yes, exactly. That's what we're trying to do here. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's going to be this fear, like, this is the second, Phoenix was the second horse. There was a horse named Slim Jim. You guys didn't get the pleasure of knowing him, but if you knew him, he was an awesome, awesome, awesome horse. Very similar, actually, to Phoenix. Similar background, similar situation, and he was amazing. And so that's the second. Phoenix is the second time I've had to put a horse from the kill pen down, and I think that sparks a new fear in me of doing it because of that experience. And I know the risk when I take on a kill pen horse, but so I know it's possible. But that's just having that happen. I think it makes you a little wary, you know. Hey, Betty. My baby. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate your kindness. He got 6 weeks of heaven. He did. He got 6 weeks. I mean, gosh, seeing him run, I think that's what's hard for everybody and was hard for me too, is like I'm still watching back on videos of Phoenix and watching him run through the field. I'm still looking at videos of his progress. I'm still looking at pictures and collages that I made of all of the progress that he made here and how happy he was. And it's just like the fact that I couldn't give that to him long term. I know I did the right thing, but it's just so hard. It's like you want, like with Moo and with Miss Lovey and with Rosie and Little John, it's like I was able to give them like this, like, oh, it's okay, buddy. He sees Mike. Did you scare him? I think you scared him, Peppers. You did. You scared him. It doesn't always work out the way we want it. It just doesn't, and it sucks. I know, like, and I think what was hard, but also like that's something I want to reiterate in when I make when I make his movie, which I am working on, but it definitely takes time. But like one of the things that I want to reiterate in there is like the how fast it went. Once I knew, I didn't want to prolong it because it was absolutely devastating to find out the news after the vet came, and I didn't want to prolong it. I didn't want to wait or think about it because I was so devastated and so sad, and I just wanted to have it done. And the vet agreed and was willing to accommodate with me because it's very hard to wait. And so once the decision was made, it was a very quick process, which I'm grateful for because it was difficult as it was, but at least the vet accommodated and it was very quick. And the day was a good day for it. I didn't want him to be nervous or scared. And when it gets windy here or stormy, the horses get really nervous. I didn't want it to be on a day like that because I just wanted him to be calm. And he was so calm the day the vet came. He was so chill. Um, and it felt like the right time. So there's different things that you can do. Um, honestly, a lot of people will actually call someone and just have them take the body away. But then you don't know where they end up. And I don't like the idea of that. Um, you can have someone cremate the body, but for a horse, the price would be absolutely ridiculous. So, in order to keep a piece of him, each of my kids got a piece of his mane, and then we actually had my husband, who's out there in the field. He put him. He has a skid steer, a huge bobcat with a big bucket on it, and he dug a hole. And I mean, let me tell you, it's a very deep, very big hole, um, so that nothing digs him up. And then he buries him and then puts a mound of dirt on the top so that nothing can get to him. Um, so that's what we decided to do because we have the ability to do that, and then he'll always be here. So, testing the Wi-Fi, dear? What?
It kicked my phone off, I think, when you were having problems too. But it's still connected. It's slower. Are you on cellular now?
I have no idea. How do you tell?
If it says 5G or if it says
5G. Hi, Peppers. This is the Wi-Fi king here.
no So it apparently it matters if you can see it or not. Like that makes a big
Oh,
difference.
it's not an awkward question. I think it's a great question because a dog or a cat is something a little bit different, but a horse is something entirely different. And I guess I'm thankful that we have, well, that I have him, because he's the one that did it, but that he has the ability to do something like that, because I think it's a lot more appropriate and official to bury them, but not everybody has the ability to do that. And it also, side note, is not legal in all states to do so. It is legal in our state to do so. It's not legal everywhere. Everybody says hi, Mike. He waved. So when we have Daisy put down, because Daisy is our golden retriever, and she is at the end. So when she is put down, um, we had our other golden, who was a senior, a very old dog at the end of her life. When we had her put down, we got her ashes. And when we have Daisy put down, we're going to bury her. And I think we may put them together. I'm not positive. Um, but Phoenix is in a really peaceful spot in our pasture. Or not in our pasture, near our cabin, which has always been a very peaceful place. So I feel like it's appropriate that that's where he's at, because it's very, very peaceful there. Away from hustle and bustle and noise and insanity of life. It's just quiet. So I feel like it's a very good spot, appropriate for him. Um, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. Um, Rescues here are swamped. Um, they're swamped with horses. There's so many that go through the kill pen. Um, they're swamped. Um, that taking on a horse with Phoenix's case is they don't. They're swamped with horses that are, kill pen type horses, but have all of their teeth and don't have the issues, and trying to get the financial rescues turn down horses all the time. It's just like dogs, cats. Dogs in certain situations, rescues won't even touch them. They won't even take them. It's the same thing with horses. There's there's a certain criteria almost they have to meet before they'll take them. And in Phoenix's condition, there wasn't a one that would have taken him. It's an unbelievable workload, and for a rescue to do that, it would have costed so much money that they could have helped, three or four other horses in horrible situations with what they could do to help one horse. And it's not like temporary. His his uh, his issues were ongoing. They would have been ongoing throughout the entire rest of whatever he had left of his life. Also, I should note that horses that are younger, I feel like there's a lot more of horses that are younger are prioritized a bit more in rescues because they have a lot more life ahead of them. But for Phoenix and for my other horses that I have bailed, a lot of times they're in their senior years of life, and that's why a lot of people don't want them, which it's hard. He didn't. Phoenix didn't have. So Kaylin, I'm not sure. I guess I'm not sure if you haven't seen some of my other videos leading up to this, it wasn't because of Lyme's disease. He was missing 7 teeth in his mouth. 7. Phoenix was missing 7 teeth in his mouth. The teeth were located all over his mouth. Teeth weren't meeting to chew food. Given his dental structure of his mouth, he wasn't able to chew or wasn't going to chew grass or hay or be able to swallow or get nutrition that way. So that would have been, and because he wasn't and was trying so hard, he was overutilizing the bottom jaw, which was why he was constantly shaking his head because he was in pain. Which is, yeah, which is honestly, I didn't realize the amount of pain that he was in until I showed my vet different videos of him, and she looked at him and she's like, "Oh my goodness, yeah, this is a sign." That she'd ask a couple questions, and I'm explaining to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I mean, he's in pain. He's in pain because of how hard that lower jaw is having to work." Um, and so you don't. I could say, I could say, I could have found the one person in the world that would have kept him alive. His risk of choke was substantial. His risk of choke was, she said, it is 10 times greater than, she said, because he'll want to eat. So he'll start, if you try to limit what he eats, he's going to start trying to eat anything because he just wants to constantly be eating. And since he can only have soak feed, she asked me, can you stall him? Well, you guys know me. I'm not going to stall a horse. I'm not going to. If there's a medical reason, short term, I will stall a horse. Medical reason and short term. Otherwise, I will not stall a horse. I do not believe in it. And that's just me personally. And these are horses from kill pens that have had rough pasts. And that's how I believe. If I had different horses, maybe it would be a different story. If I was doing something different, if I was someone who shows horses or does something like that, maybe I would think differently. But for me personally, I'm not going to stall a horse. And so I'm not interested in keeping a horse, because what this looks like, guys, is a very small space so that he can't try to eat anything. Because basically what she said is, if you only do soaked feed, because he can't have hay, because he a huge risk of choke, and he can have grass, but you're not going to have any grass in the winter. He's going to start trying to eat anything he can get because he's just going to want to eat, because horses are like that. They're born to graze. And when he does that, you just run up huge, huge risks. So you have to stall him or keep him in a very tiny area with hardly anything to keep him safe from killing himself, basically. And it's like that, added to the fact that he's in pain, constant pain, added to the fact that how the hell am I going to pay $250 a week for soaked feed for this horse? Added on top of the time and trying to get the food into him when we have 20 degrees below zero winters here and it's cold and the feed freezes. Added to the fact that he's an old boy anyways. After you start piling this stuff up on top of each other, you realize, is that worth doing? For a really poor quality of life for a horse you're going to shove in a stable? I don't think so. I just don't, I personally just don't think, I don't think that's a good quality of life for a horse. Only eat soaked feed for the rest of your life, be on supplements, risking choke, having completely different dietary needs than the other horses. Hey, buddy. And there are so many. Let me tell you this too. I throw this out there too, you guys. I, I'll throw you this out there. So word got around that little Rosie might be looking for maybe a new place because her and Little John were having issues. So I started kind of thinking about it, and I had two different people that knew someone I knew talk to me about Rosie. This is Rosie. Rosie's still here, and I'll tell you why. Because the places that want to take her have claimed to be rescues, and the more I dig into it, the more I realize these rescues aren't really rescues, and I don't know what their intentions are with the pony, but I'm not letting her go to anyone who can't prove that they're actually going to take care of her. And the process of placing a horse, people lie, people cheat, people manipulate the system. And she said the worst thing I've seen is a horse like Phoenix. She goes, it happens all the time. A horse like Phoenix. The people don't have the heart or they don't have the pocketbook. They want to make something off the horse because they can't just they put how much money into the horse, so they have to make something back. So they sell the horse. They don't tell someone, you know how much money I could have gotten for Phoenix if I just didn't tell someone he has bad teeth? I could take, so here's the alternative. I could take Phoenix, sold him, could have sold him, not tell him about his teeth. Look how good he looks. Here you go. I could have sold him. I mean, people do it, or find a rescue, but a lot of rescues aren't really rescues. I mean, it the horse world is so shady that sometimes you have to decide what's going to be the best thing. And so, hey John.
Mom, I'm making ice
Oh, all right. So sometimes the outcome isn't what we wanted, but I did actually. So Kaylin, if you want to email me privately, I just don't think you're aware of how much I tried. Soaked hay was not an option. The vet said do not do that for his particular case. Um, the vet said do not do the soaked hay. It's a recipe for choke. He soaked hay. They don't just soak the hay and then they swallow it. The soaked hay still needs to be chewed. And because he didn't have any teeth, I will very very gladly, because Kaylin, you have been so active and so amazing on my channel, and I do appreciate people's input, and I do want people not to feel um, like like what you're saying. You're saying you didn't try. That sucks. I have watched every single live and didn't hear you speak being concerned about pain because I said I'm taking videos and showing the vet. I said I'm taking videos to show my vet. I didn't know that these certain things he was doing with his head were because he was in pain. I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that because I hadn't seen it before. Because I've never had a horse missing that many teeth. I've never had a horse with the struggles that Phoenix had. Never. I've never had a horse missing that many teeth. I've never seen a horse quid that much, ever. And I've never seen a horse do the movements that Phoenix did with his head. I didn't. I didn't see it before, so I didn't even know what I was looking for, what I was looking at. So when I showed my vet, literally the day she put him down, and she's telling me, yes, this, she's showing me. Soaked hay wouldn't have worked. Soaked hay wouldn't have worked because she told me they still have to chew it. I did try the soaked feed. I was giving him beet pulp, alfalfa pellets. I was giving him senior feed. I soaked feed for weeks for him. I used shredded alfalfa. You know what was happening? The alfalfa was literally making his stomach sick and he had the shits. If you watched my lives, you know I showed the shit on the ground because he was getting some alfalfa from the field. So giving him alfalfa pellets was making him literally shit his guts out. So I couldn't. She goes, don't, don't overdo on the alfalfa pellets either, and or the alfalfa cubes, because I was soaking alfalfa cubes and giving them those. She goes, don't overdo that. Some horses, their bodies can't handle that amount of alfalfa. So I couldn't do as much of that. So I was doing senior feed, beet pulp, and then I started doing Timothy pellets instead of alfalfa pellets. Right, I guess. Okay, if you, I guess I don't understand then. Like, if you did see it, you saw the liquid shit on the ground. That was from soaking alfalfa cubes. What more could I? What? Like, I'm genuinely asking this question. What more did you want me to do? I'm seeing a professional person who has done this for years. She's seen my horses, every single one of my kill pen horses. She she knows my horses. She knows the things, and she's telling me basically your horse is in pain and you've done your best, but do you have $250 a week to invest in what it's going to take to feed him every single week? I mean, we take on horses from a kill pen, and unfortunately, you don't know what all you're getting. And had he not been living like in pain, and had maybe some things been a little bit different, maybe I could have tried. But this is a draft horse. This is a big horse. To keep him fed would have been beyond what I think anybody has the ability to do. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I guess I'm, I guess I'm not exactly sure what, like, I'm not exactly sure what the comment "you didn't even try" means. I find that very hurtful because, like, I find that to be a very hurtful comment, given the fact that I literally devoted hours and hours and hours and hours of time, not to mention like emotional. I put so much emotionally into that horse. And like, if you watch my lives, okay, I'm going to try to explain this. I'm not sure if the Wi-Fi is cutting out. The vet said, do not do soaked hay because it doesn't matter if you soak the hay, they still have to chew it. I think the Wi-Fi must be cutting out because I've said this about 4 times. I'll say it a couple more just in case. The vet said, do not feed soaked hay. It can cause choke because they still have to chew the hay. Soaking the hay does not make it so that it will just pass into their system. They still have to chew it. So even if the hay is soaked, that doesn't make it any easier for the horse to chew. And the vet said, do not do it or you could cause choke. I've only had people email me telling me what choke looks like. I have never seen it, thank God, firsthand myself. But what it looks like is a horse flailing on the ground, struggling, coughing, and eventually dying because they cannot get air, because they tried to swallow food and it gets stuck in their esophagus, and they literally die struggling and flailing. And I've only had people email me or tell me stories about it, but I'm not risking that to say I tried it. I'm not. I couldn't, because the emails that I received after just talking about choke on my channel were like, oh my goodness. Right. So were you able to hear, I'm not sure, I hope the Wi-Fi is working. Were you able to hear soaked hay was not an option? And I exhausted every other option. So it was either rescues didn't want him because his situation is so severe. They have criteria, and Phoenix, there's no, they wouldn't take him on. He was too much of a case. And people also fake rescues. He, I couldn't do soaked hay. The soaked alfalfa cubes would have been great, but we saw the liquid shit that it was causing. So yeah, I don't, I've told you guys this before many times on my channel. I don't I don't want to be misunderstood. And I really, like, you guys heard me on the live. I don't lie. I don't lie. I was buying his tack. I was ready. I started groundwork. Literally the day before we had him put down, I started groundwork with him. I was teaching him to flex. He was supposed to be my riding horse. I was, I spent 6 weeks just loving him. And towards the end he was returning it like full force. Just a sweetheart. And that's the one thing is like explaining, like explaining it is hard. Let's see. I procrastinate on the video because I have to explain it. When you put something on a public platform, it is for people to judge. If you don't want to be judged, then don't put your shit out there in public. That's what I always say. And so because I'm putting my shit out here in public for people to see, I do have to explain myself, and I do have to explain what happened, especially a horse that you guys see galloping through the field, looking beautiful and amazing, and the next day he's put down. Everybody wants to know why the heck. And it's like it's hard to explain it. It's hard to explain it, like, just it's very difficult, and I understand that that comes with this territory. Um, and I mean, to be honest, guys, like you, like I contemplated, and I told you guys we were thinking about trying to get Rosie into a better situation. Like we've just been working with it, trying to do different things, trying to figure out something else that works so that she can stay here. Like I don't ever want, I don't ever want one to leave here. I don't ever want to have to put a horse down. Like I don't want that ever. It's never my long-term goal. I get attached to every single one because they're horses, because I love them, because when you rescue them and see their progress, you just never want to have to put one down. Is it good? And I think, sorry, gosh, my light is so bad here. Yeah, it's like, I think, honestly, and I kind of knew like things were coming when I had them put down so quickly, and like, I think, um, always, always deep down, there's this hope that people will always see my heart and see me with my horses and know how much I love them. I know how much they mean to me even after only 6 weeks. And I don't know if people think like I'm not projecting this onto anybody, but I don't know if people think that I moved on too quickly, um, because I'm coming on live and sharing my other horses. But I struggle with it every day. But at the same time, this is like what brings peace into my life. And this is what I do it for because I have four more rescue horses that have come a long way. And I'm not forgetting Phoenix. And I'm not trying to move on because I'm trying to process it. And it's different off camera than it is on camera too. Like when I come out here, I still want to share my life. I still want to share my horses. I still want to share what we do. I still know that I want to rescue again. Like, and I'm processing through it too. And it goes in waves. And I try to come on the camera when I'm doing good, honestly. Because I don't want to come on the camera bawling all the time because that's ugly. Honestly. Puppers is trying to get in here because she knows I'm sad. Puppers, come here, girl. Come here. It's okay. She knows I'm sad, so she's trying to come by me. Good girl. It's okay. It's okay, Puppers. She's trying to figure out how to get in here. Just, you can stay out, honey. It's okay. I'm okay. Stay out. She could totally hop the fence if she wanted to. So don't hop the fence, please. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's the problem. And that's the hard part of rescuing is you there's the good and the bad. I want people to know like how much I loved him and cared about him, and that if I felt there was any other option that would have been that I could have done, I would have tried any other thing, but I felt in my heart that laying him at peace over trying to prolong something was the right thing to do. Um, so I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like I'm a mess. I think, yeah, it's just been a rough day. Um, like it goes, like I said, and that's how I think grief works. Even when you lose like a loved one, it works in waves. Sometimes you'll be, and then like I opened up a cupboard and there was the chunk that I cut from his mane and tail. It's just like, oh, all over again. Or I went to the PO box and someone had sent a package for Phoenix, and it's just like then you open it and it's all over again. Or Mike goes. Mike said every time that he pulls in, he used to pull in, or every time like he came outside in the morning to go to work, he would hear Phoenix yelling for him like every morning. He's like, I kind of miss it. It's like, yep, the kids miss him. Yeah, no, I do. I think Kaylin, I think what people struggle with, and what I struggled with a bit at the beginning, was how fast it happened. We didn't have enough. None of us had enough time to process. None of us had enough time to process it, and um, I knew my decision, and once we made that decision, like that she was able to do it, because for me, thinking about something really, really, really eats at me, but um, there wasn't enough time to explain it to people, to talk through it and process everything. And when something happens, you want to find a cause, you want to find a reason, you want to find something, and it's just very hard. And the sudden how sudden it was is very hard, and like just wanting to explain and wanting to do a tribute for him. You guys have to understand something about me as well, and I'll just throw this out there. If you're new here, you might just want to leave because this might just be really stupid to you. Shut up, lady. But um, I really put like my heart and my I love I love making videos and editing them and working on them. Every time I go through my camera roll, it's just full of pictures of him. I have hundreds of pictures of that horse, hundreds of them. And it's just, I want to use every single one. I want to share them with you guys because they're beautiful, beautiful pictures. He was so pretty. He was so beautiful. He looked so good. But making a video means I have to go through again and look at all of them. And it's hard to do right now. I have videos of him, I have pictures of him. My life revolved around him for 6 weeks. And that might not seem like a long time to some people, but for me it was. Um, and I became attached to him so quickly. And he just affected so many people. He touched so many people. And so I, I want to get the video done, but I start working on it. And then I just lose my ability to finish it. And that's why the video is not out yet. Because I immediately tried to, that's how I deal with grief a lot, is to go out and hang out with the horses and take funky, funny things of them and deal with them because they're goofy and they're funny and they're entertaining. And I love the horses to death and they make me happy. And little John this morning, if you caught that live, he was being hilarious. His hair was goofy, so was mine, but it was fun. And they remind me of why I do what I do. So, when I can't handle it, I come out here and then life's a little better. And I remember why it matters. Sorry guys, oh my god, I need to go and I need to stop crying. Good lord. It's just like, um, it's gonna be better. It's gonna get better. And he is not in pain. Um, he's not in pain. He's not suffering or struggling or, you know, he's not locked in a stall. He's at peace. And I did the best I could for him. And I know that. I know that. I know that. Like, no matter what happens, I know that I did everything I could. But it still doesn't make it any easier. It just doesn't. Like, even knowing I did the best I could, it doesn't make it any easier. Hey, Buppy. Because he's still not here. you know, he's still not here. I come out here and he's not in this pen. He'll never be in here again. He's not here anymore. And I had so many plans for him. So many plans. You guys know me. Like from the time I saw him, I was like, he's going to be my riding horse. Him and I are going to be besties. He's going to be Moo's friend because Lovey and Normie are best friends and Moo needs a friend. And he's going to have a long, happy life here. He's going to finish his retirement here. He's going to be happy. He's going to learn how to eat correctly. He's going to be spoiled. You learn something from every single horse that you cross paths with. And with Phoenix, God, I don't even know what the most important thing I learned from him was. Because he taught me so many lessons. And I learned so much about horses. And I think, you know, you have to allow yourself, um, You have to allow yourself grace. Um, you know, and sorry guys, I'm a mess. I need about 1,600 tissues. I wish I had a tissue box out here. Putting one in the tack room for times such as this. Yeah, he was Phoenix. I just, I think one of my favorite things was just like his quirk. He was quirky. Um, I think one of my favorite things it was how he didn't know what a treat was, and then he would literally check my pockets for treats. So I'd come out and he'd immediately start sniffing my pockets, and I would always have like a lot of times a front pocket on my shirt. He would just attack me trying to find a treat. Hi, sir. How are you, James? James, what are you doing? Hi. Hi, puppy. Good girl. Oh my goodness. All right. If you guys are new here, I don't know if I should apologize or what. Honestly, more of a lady crying about a horse. Like and subscribe. Um, no. On this channel, I I want to be real. I want to be real. This is real life. This is this is real. I mean, uh, it just this just happened, and like not only do I have to process it, but I realize like all of you have to process it, and you need to be able to fill in the pieces of the puzzle. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And for a lot of people, I think it didn't make sense. And so, fill in all those pieces. I needed that video, but I just don't have the heart to put into it. And so, I understand the questions, and I'm not mad at anybody for asking them. I think people need to ask questions. I think people need to have answers. I think people want to know things, and I actually appreciate people coming to me and asking instead of just like leaving the channel or going somewhere else or being like, you know what I mean? I appreciate people saying, hey, wait a minute, like, I actually appreciate that because even though I just cried a bunch and had to think about it again, I understand why there's questions and I want to answer them the best that I possibly can because you guys were just as attached to him, a lot of you were, as I was. So, um, um, you know what I mean? Everybody was. So I don't hold judgments against people for asking questions. It does hurt um, sometimes, but that's also how we process through things, right? It's how we teach kids like emotions, and that's why like with Phoenix, like I had my kids come down and see him if they wanted to, and they all did, and take some of his mane and some of his tail, and sit with him if they wanted to, and they're doing well. Like the kids have all seemingly processed it well, and I think that's because they got to say goodbye. And I can't even really imagine being one of you guys and watching his story or donating, sending things on the Amazon wish list, or investing in his life, or getting to see him every day on live to nothing. I really honestly can't even, I don't know what you're going through either. And so you need to be able to fill in the pieces of the puzzle, and I totally get that. 100%. Um, oh boy, I have a kid covered in mud. Um, so with that, I had best Mary, Mary, I have not, and I don't know what's going on. I have my personal email put on the page, and anyone can email me, but I don't know what's going on because apparently I don't get everybody's emails. Um, so no, I didn't. Oh, thank you, Sunny. I'm actually gonna go because my phone is dying, and also I have Moo is on. Oh, I'll show you guys this. So if it's confirmed that he has Lyme, he will need to be on kind of like a long-term medicine for a little while, depending on how long he's had it. And he hates the medicine, and it is very hard to administer medicine to a 1,200-pound animal who doesn't want to take it. My phone is also dying, but he has to take two different ones today. This one, which is for inflammation and pain because of the pain in his back end because of the Lyme, and then this one he's got to take for several days. And let me tell you, he does not care for it. Very, very, very difficult. Um, he doesn't like it, and I tried like mixing in his food, then he won't touch the food if it's in there. So I absolutely have to put his halter on. I know this sounds horrible. I have to take the syringe, I have to put it all the way in his mouth, shove it down his throat, and spray, not shove it down his throat, but put it way in the back of his mouth, and then um, hit the thingy, because otherwise he won't get it, and he has to have the antibiotics. It's very difficult because it's very hard for me when he doesn't want to come by me, and he always wants to come by me. Moo is a sweet horse, he's such a love, but when he sees me with the syringe, he doesn't even want to come to me anymore, which I hate, but I have no choice. I'm just trying to help him. Donetta, wait, what happened with Donetta? Pretty sure. Donetta, for sure, 100%, honey. I know you're going through a lot. Donetta, you got a multitude behind you, honey. Everybody, I am going to head out. Thanks for jumping on the live. We'll see you guys on the next